Hey guys, it's Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo, and today we're back with another Leaks of the Week. This week we're continuing off with the FSN Unlimited Blade Works booster pack, as you can see right here. And we're also starting the School Girls Strickers trial deck, which is coming out on the 4th of December. So both FSN Unlimited Blade Works trial deck part 2 and School Girls Strickers do have the same release date on the 4th of December, which is as of today's recording. I really wanted to get this out earlier this week or earlier last week, or I should say on the later half of last week, but I did catch a cold last week. My throat was killing me, but I feel a lot better now, but I'm still kind of feeling it, so if I sound a bit different or if I start coughing or sniffling a lot in this video, that is because I am still a bit sick. But anyways, Schoolgirl Strikers, I've never really heard about this set until Bushiroad announced it. I just know it's a mobile game in Japan, and I guess it's a fairly popular mobile game because it was popular enough to get a booster for Weiss. So, the girls are kind of cute. The set seems kind of interesting, so not too sure what Schoolgirl Strikers has in store for us in playstyle wise, because like I said, I have no idea what it's about, but hopefully it's pretty cool. But I guess with everything out of the way, let's get to it. So 2-1 4K Alter Torte Sumihara Satoko, Striker and Detective. This card is a 1K assist in front. Combos with the Climax Awaiting Combat, which is this wind trigger right here. So when you play the wind trigger, you can pay cost, which is 1. If you do, search your deck for one striker character, show to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So Satoka, I think, is an okay card. I think could have been a little bit better. I really wish her assist was like a 1K global or a level assist. I think that'll make this card way, way, way better. But sadly, it's only a 1K in front assist. It is a trial deck card, so what can you do? And kind of bites, but it's okay. But what makes this card cool, of course, is this Climax combo. When you play the Wind Trigger, not too shabby, very good in certain matchups. So with the Wind Trigger, you can pay 1 and search your deck for a striker character. I'm sure you guys can guess from the title of the series. Most, if not all, the characters are strikers. So she's a striker, level 3 is a striker, and we'll see later this week striker, and striker. So all the cards are strikers so far. So pretty good. You can pay 1, search your deck for pretty much any character, and add it to your hand. Not too shabby at all, and she's kind of cute. But what makes this card even cooler is that other cards in this set also combo off the same Climax, which we'll see right now. So next card, 3-2, 10K, Yuki Numa Io, Striker and Sports, of course. So once this card is played from hand to stage, draw 2, ditch 1. Once again, Climax combos with the Wind Trigger. So when you play the Wind Trigger and this card's in the front row, all your characters get plus 2/5 power and the following ability until the end of the turn, where when this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may place that character to its owner's memory. So, Io. Pretty exciting. Right off the bat, we can see the level 3 for the set, and it's in okay level 3. Draw 2, ditch 1. Not too shabby, especially because this one does have a Climax combo, and most trial decks can't really plus, so draw 2, ditch 1, not too bad. The Climax combo is okay. It gives a pretty big power boost, 2/5 from herself and the 1K from the Climax, so pretty much a 3/5 boost for all your characters. And if you have multiple of these, it can get pretty out of hand. Like if you have 2 of these EOs, that's what, a 6K power boost? Pretty ridiculous. I'm sure you will easily reverse your opponent's field with the if you have 2 of these, that's like 6K. That's all your opponent's characters are going to die, no questions asked. And when you do kill your opponent's characters, it gets sent to memory. So like I said many times in the series, shooting characters to your opponent's memory is of course a double-edged sword, usually a bad thing, because every time you do send an opponent's characters to memory, you do increase their compress by 1. May not sound like a lot, but sometimes it does make the difference, and it does actually start making a big difference when you use this effect multiple times. Like if you shoot 3 or 4 characters to your opponent's memory, that's that's not really good, so definitely don't try not to do that. But like I said, if you shoot 3, 4, 5 characters to memory, it starts making a pretty big difference. So use EO responsibly. Of course, in certain matchups, it's really good. Like if you know your opponent is not running multiple of that level 3, and it's an annoying level 3 that you want to get rid of, or if that level 3 has Encore, you should definitely kick it to memory. Like, of course, prime example, Tachibana from Nisekoi. Definitely you want to get rid of her ASAP. If you can't send her to memory, it makes it impossible for the Nisekoi player to game end you. So at that point, the Nisekoi player's only real game ending is like level 3 Chitoge, both the red and the yellow one. And if they're running flare triggers, that's also like their only form of game ending at that point. So that's the best example I can give. Another example will be like the old game-ending level 3 Uripe from Angel Beats. Not many players run many copies of that, probably 2 max, and you know that Uripe has Encore because of the one Okanade assist. Of course, you could try sending that Uripe to memory, and if you send like 1 or 2 of those in memory, your opponent might not have any more, and the Angel Beats player's game ending has gone down drastically. Another example is, of course, Misakuro from Railgun. You can only have 2 of those, so just a couple examples I can think of. So, it's okay, but definitely not. I don't really like this level 3. I don't think she's that cute either. So, not really a fan of this card. Kind of sucks for newer players because, trial decks are supposed to bring new players into the set or into the game. And so, like, a new guy buys a trial deck, plays his level 3 EO, plays the Climax, sends all of your opponent's characters to memory. That's like 3 free compress for your opponent. Not really good. Next turn they do it again because they think it's OP and they think they're OP with their new level 3 EOs. That's like 6 free compress for your opponent. Not good at all. So hopefully their newer player senpais will teach them to use this EO responsibly. But yeah, pretty cool. Or not pretty cool. It's okay. But what we can get from these first 2 cards is that seems like the theme of School Girls Strikers will be multiple characters comboing off a single climax, very similar to Project Diva. Diva, that I'm sure you guys do know, but that was Diva's main gimmick. It was like an example is like what Unhappy Refrain. The song featured Kaito, Len, and Miku, so the Unhappy Refrain climax also comboed with a Kaito, Len, and Miku. Not very good in Diva, to be completely honest. The best one is probably like the Rin that changes into the Len, the level 1, or the yellow Rin that changes into the yellow Len. They're both level 1s. It combos off like a wind trigger if I remember correctly. So that's probably the best one. That one's actually pretty scary and can be really annoying to deal with. My god. So that's probably the best one. And so it didn't really work out in Diva. So hopefully in this booster. Well, that's my phone. But anyways, in this booster or in this series. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. But I like how Bushiroad is trying to bring back the theme of multiple characters comboing off a climax. Didn't work out in Diva, but I'm glad that they're not afraid to try it again. So here's hoping that this time it works to greater success, because I think it'd be really cool having like 5 different characters on the field playing a climax and like, oh my god, all of them comboing off of it. That'd be super cool. Or if they had like 3 different level 3s comboing off a single climax, and like if you get all 3 of them off, it's like game over for your opponent. I think that'd be really cool, kind of like what Ilya has. Oh, I guess Ilya makes it really good, huh? Because both the Ilya and the Miyu combos off the pants. Huh. I forgot about them. But anyways, damn, it's actually pretty good because it's an Ilya. Oh well. Anyways, they're bringing back the theme, or this is the theme of the new set, it seems like, and hopefully it will be pretty good, like Kaleidoscope Ilya, because I think that'd be really fun. Because I think Ilya is a totally awesome deck, but I just don't want to spend money on that. But anyways, let's go on. Overall, pretty cool. Next up, 3-2. 10k double R, Master and Servant, Rin and Archer. Of course, their traits are Master and Servant. So this card, what it does is when it's played from hand to stage, you may heal. And it climax combos with Last Words, which is this gate right here. When you declare an attack with the gate, you can pay 1. If you do, deal 1 to your opponent, and this card gets plus 3k until the end of the turn. This card is pretty cool. Art is pretty cute. Rin looks especially cute in this picture. Not a big fan of guys on my cards, so if he was gone, I would very much prefer that. But whatever, that's just me rambling. First thing that comes into my mind is that this card is very similar to a very, very old card, which is this Rin and Archer from the original Fate Stay Night booster. If you guys aren't familiar with this card because it's super old, I'll just go over it really quickly. Play from hand to stage, heal, combos with Words of Farewell. When it attacks, deal 1 to your opponent. and it has a startup where you can discard a weapon character, and it gives this card plus 2k. Words of Farewell is this plus 2 soul here. Lol's Words of Farewell. Oh well. So yeah, very similar to this, but the biggest difference is that this is a 9/5 power combos, and this one combos with the plus 2 soul, and this one's climax combo is costless. The new Rin and Archer combos with the gate, and it costs 1 to do the burn. However, you do get the plus 3k off of it, which is actually quite nice. So this Rin and Archer I think is okay. Not too bad of a card. I like the old Rin and Archer. The thing I really liked about this old Archer and Rin was that it combos with the plus 2 soul. Yes, the plus 2 soul is like a hit or miss. I've talked about that many times. And the trigger is not too good. But at level 3, it can be quite devastating for your opponent, especially with multiple copies of like Rin and Archer. Like for example, if you have 3 Archer and Rin and Archers in the front row, and then you play this plus 2 soul, because your characters are of course 2 soul, all your characters now have 4 soul, and you can start siding for 1 damage. So you can like side, burn 1, attack, or like side for 1 or 2 damage depending on what you trigger. So like if your opponent's like a 3/4, 3/5, or like 3/3 even, it can be like game over for your opponent with multiple Rin and Archers, and you just keep siding for 1. It's like side. It's like if you have 3 Archer and Rins, the old Archer and Rin, and you play the plus 2 souls, like side 1, side burn 1, attack 1, side burn 1, attack 1, side burn 1, attack 1. That's just like pretty difficult to cancel. So I think that was what made this old Archer and Rin really cool. But this one, it's a bit different. Heals, and this one combos with the gate. So both positives and downs, both pros and cons to this. Of course, the pro is that the gate is a gate, and gates are still really good to trigger off of. Anti-salvage is still really relevant, especially with 2 Lover Gayness. So still really relevant, but still, the gate is still really good in like other matchups that don't have anti-salvage. And of course, this one gets a pretty respectable amount of power. You pay 1, she gets plus 3k, and you get the 1k boost off the gate. So it's pretty much like you're getting a 4k boost off of this. So pretty respectable amount of power. With like a level assist, it'll be a 5/5, and pretty much your opponent's character should die. So pretty solid. So overall, I think this Rin and Archer is a fairly solid card. I don't know what people will be choosing to run for their Archer and Rin decks, because we have the old Archer and Rin, and like I said, I still think this is a pretty good card, especially for an old card. And this card was an uncommon. Man, if we had level 3s this awesome in our time that are uncommons, that'd be super awesome. But back in the day, uncommon level 3s with awesome climax combos. Still, I think this old Archer and Rin is still really solid and still really good. This new one is also really good and solid. But I think the best part about this card is that you can now give access to, now English players have an access to a card that's similar to the old Archer and Rin. Because of course, the English players don't have access to this card, and I don't think they'll ever have access to this card. I really don't think they'll release the old Face Day Night booster to America. So it gives the English players an access to a card that's similar to this awesome Archer and Rin, and I think that's really cool. Will people be choosing to run this card in their Archer and Rin decks? I don't know, because there's so many level 3s for Rin and Archer. There's like, Rin has 3 level 3s, the trial deck one, the one that comes out early, and the one that combos with the gate, I think. And you have like 2 Archer level 3s. You have the one that's like the Miki, this one, why am I in Girlfriend Beta? This one, and he has like that other weird level 3, I don't remember, but that one's terrible. But there's so many level 3s to choose from for the Archer and Rin decks. Will they choose to run this one? Who knows, we'll have to see. But also, you can run this in your normal Fate Stay Night decks, or your normal non-Archer Rin decks, maybe like a Saber, Shido, and Ring deck. They seem to be pushing for that trio in this booster, and this one does fit the criteria because it does have the Rin in her name. So she does work in those decks. You can search her out with the Brainstorm that we talked about last week, and she does synergize with like all those other cards that require a Rin, an Archer, or a Saber on the field. I'm sorry, a Rin, a Shido, or a Saber on the field. So she can also work in those decks as well. So I think it's a pretty versatile card, really good. Or it fits in the Archer and Rin deck. You can put it in a normal deck because it combos with the gate, and it's just a really solid card. and it combos and it works well in the Archer, Rin, and Shido deck, or Archer, Saber, and Shido deck. If that deck does become a thing, this card does work in it as well. So this card is very versatile. I think it works in many builds, and it combos off with the gate, which makes it all that much more playable. So overall, I think this card is really solid, and I think it's not like the greatest card ever, but I think it's really solid, and the fact that it's so versatile and can fit in almost any build, in my opinion, I think makes it all that much more awesome. Just a quick note, we did talk about this last week, or we kind of talked about it last week. This level 0 assist, 500 front assist, and it resonates to grab the level 3 from the waiting room. Last week, I said I don't think this card is necessary because you're grabbing a level 3, and you don't really want to be grabbing level 3s early in the game because it's not that useful. I think you're better off using that stock for other things, like brainstorming perhaps, or playing 1/1s. I think you're better off using that stock for something else. And my statement still stays the same. I still think you're better off using that stock for other things, and I think you're better off using your back row character. I think you're better off saving your back row for better cards. So, yeah. So I don't think this is necessary, but overall, a very solid level 3 in my opinion. And oh, this Rin super cute in this picture. Anyways, let's go on. 001500R Storm of Counterattacks Archer, Servant and Weapon. When this card is played from hand to stage, choose one of your characters that gets plus 1k power until the end of the turn. Resonates with Karada Bulk 2, which we talked about last week, right here. During the start of your climax phase, if this card's in the center stage, you can pay cost, which is of course reveal one Karada Bulk 2. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 0 or lower center stage character and send it to his opponent, or send it to his owner's waiting room. This Archer is okay in my opinion. On play, you give a character plus 1k power, and like I said last week, giving power in this series is actually quite relevant with their level 3s that are dependent on reverse abilities. Prime examples in like a red build would of course be the new level 1 Rin we talked about last week. Or like if you're running him in yellow, you could like give it to the 1 Shido in the first booster. And if you're running him in like other colors, you could give it to your level 3 riders that need power to clock shoot. And if you're running him in like a blue build, you could give it to the level 3 caster from last booster that also needs power to get the double attack off. And this week we'll see another level 3 that is dependent on reversing its opponent's character. So 1k power can be actually pretty nifty in this set. And the Resonate, it's not the greatest thing ever. In certain situations I think it can be really good. You pretty much reveal Karada Bulk 2, choose an opponent's level 0 character in the front row, send it to his owner's memory. Not very good, only really relevant at level 0, and even then it's just like whatever. But the best thing about this in my opinion, or the best part about the second effect in my opinion, is that you can kill off level 0 runners, because runners are pretty difficult to deal with if you don't have like an anti-running card or a card that pops level 0s, then it can be almost impossible to deal with. So this Archer, like if you start off with this Archer and like the Karada Bulk 1 in your hand, or the Karada Bulk 2 in your hand, you can kill off any of your opponent's level 0 runners, and I think that's pretty cool. Can put a thorn in your opponent's plans. So I think that's the best part about its second ability. But overall, this Archer, I think he's okay. I really don't think he's mandatory at all. If you want to tech 1 or 2 of him, go ahead. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. But I definitely would say keep him 2 max. Maybe even just 1 max. But, you know, he's an alright techish card. So I think he's kind of cool. But an R-worthy, I would have been happier if he was an uncommon. But he's alright. Definitely, he's playable, but I think you can go without him. Yeah, I'll just leave him at that. Anyways, next card, 001500R, Karada Bulk 2 Archer. Servant and Weapon, of course. This ability, he has an auto ability where this ability can be activated once per turn. When you play Karada Bulk 2 from your hand, choose one of your characters and it gets plus 2k until the end of the turn. And it's a level 0 Suicider. I think this Archer is actually fairly solid. It's a level 0 Suicider, so that right off the bat makes him playable. And I think the cards that resonate with Karada Bulk 2 in this series are actually fairly solid. Like last week we saw the level 1 Suicider, which is totally awesome. And yeah, like that right off the bat makes it pretty good. We're gonna see a card very soon that also resonates with Kadada Bulk 2, which is actually fairly awesome as well. So if you're if you're running enough Kadada Bulks 2, or if you plan to make your new Archer and Rin deck resonate with the Kadada Bulk 2, I think this new Archer is a pretty good level 0 Suicider to go along with it, because like I said with the last card, power is actually pretty relevant in the set, and it's actually it's actually pretty relevant in the Archer and Rin build, especially with the new 1-0. Giving like your new level 1 Rins 2k power can be pretty reasonable. You know, the 2k power is really relevant all stages of the game, and so it kind of sucks you have to play it, because when you play it, of course you can't resonate with it anymore. But if you have multiple Kadada bulks too, shouldn't be a problem. But still, a level 0 assist that makes him playable right off the bat, and when you play Kadada bulk 2, gives 2k power, which is pretty good. So overall, a fairly solid card if you're running enough if you're planning to run a lot of Kadada bulks too. Next card, 00500 uncommon, existing for an ideal archer, servant, and weapon. This card, when this card is played from hand to stage, you can pay cost, which is 1. If you do, choose one Kadada bulk 2 from your waiting room and return it to your hand. Has another effect of place 2 of your master or servant characters to rest. If you do, choose one of your characters to get plus 2k power until the end of the turn. So man, all the power boosting cards in this one day, huh? So this Archer, I think it's good for its first ability. Last week I talked about how I think a card that could bond for the Kadada bulk 2 event would be really good, because you know it's an event. So the only way you can really get this by normal means is by drawing into it. Yeah, you can't gate it and you can't brainstorm for it. But now we have a card that can grab the Kadada bulk 2. And so it makes the resonate all that much more consistent. You know, get your level 1 Suiciders off and alive. I think that's the best part about this whole resonate, getting the level 1 Suicider off. So if you're running 4 Kadada bulks too for your Archer and Rindex, I would definitely highly recommend running 1 or 2 of these to make it all that much more consistent. And like you could also like play Kadada bulk 2, give a character plus 2k power with Archer, grab a red character, play this level 0, bond for the Kadada bulk 2, climax phase, resonate, and then go from there. So I think it's a fairly cool card. I think you could do some cool plays with it. So overall, for an uncommon, I'm definitely very pleased with this. And you have the whole tap 2, give a character plus 2k power until the end of the turn. Like I said, power fairly relevant in this set. So the 2k power is pretty big, and it's no stock. So a very good on playability with a fairly decent secondary ability. So overall, for an uncommon, this definitely does have my seal of approval. I think if this was an R, I would be okay with that too. Like this is an R. Like this should have been uncommon in my opinion, and this one should have been an R. But oh well, still really good, or still a good card. Next up, for the last card for Monday, 2175 common frontal breakthrough Rin, Master, and Jewel. So she has Encore. This is a weird Encore. You discard 1 red card from your hand to the waiting room. Yes, take note of the different Encore. So it's not your ordinary hand Encore, and it also resonates. So when this card is reversed and the level of the character or the level of the card's battling opponent is greater than your opponent's level, you may pay cost, which is reveal 1 card out of bulk 2. If you do, you place that character to reverse. So this Rin, I think, is fairly solid. She is only a common. I think she's a really good common. Pretty much, I think she's really good because of her secondary ability. Pretty much an anti-change Suicider, very similar to the Adachi from Persona 4, and the new, or the kind of new, Lala from To Love Ru Darkness that also resonates with her level 3 with her level 3. This one I think is really good. I'm sure we all know early play level 3s are very, 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 very relevant in today's meta. So having an answer for them is very nice. And this one does answer them. You play her, and it's a very cheap, stock, efficient answer. You're pretty much paying 1 stock, killing off your character to kill off one of your opponent's early plays level 3s. And they can't anti-change against this card, of course, so they can't really stop it. And the only way they can really get around it is by encoring their level 3. And not many level 3 that comes out early have like an inbuilt encore mechanic, so they're going to have to find encore in other shape or forms, usually like maybe an assist that gives encore, or they might pay 3 encore, and if not, they just let the level 3 die. And if they do, depending on the situation, like some level 3s that come out early are very like resource heavy, like change level 3s that come out at level 2, like a climax phase change level 3 that comes out of level 2, very stock heavy and resource heavy. So if you play like this level 3 Rin, kill it off with her, you're paying 1 stock to kill, like to make them lose one of their level 3s, which they pay 3 stock and discard a 1 card for. So very efficient. I would highly recommend running her in your Archer and Rin builds if you're running Kata Double 2. Definitely tech 1 or 2 of these, and I think you should be really good. And she does have the very interesting encore. Uh, Discarding a red card is really good, especially if you're running an Archer and Rin deck. All your cards are red, so it's like hand encore, but even better because you can discard a red card. So you can discard climaxes, of course, and this is a level 2 card. And most people, most of the time you refresh like late level 1 or early level 2, mid level 2. And like before you refresh, you can like crash her into an opponent's character, discard a climax. That way you can like try to refresh with 8 climaxes in your waiting room. So this Rin makes it easier to discard climaxes, and you get encore at the same time. So overall, I think this Rin is just super solid, especially for a common. I think it's a really good common. So a unique encore that's actually pretty good that can help you get rid of excess climaxes, and a very good resonate ability in my opinion. So I really like this Rin. I think it's super good. Excuse me. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. Man, 26 minutes off the first day. Anyways, let's go on to 105k Trial Deck Alte Torte, Miyami Subame, Striker and Mystery. So this card, when the climax awaiting combat, which like we said is the wind trigger. So when the wind trigger is played, and this card is in the front row, you can pay cost, which is pay 1, tap 2 of your striker characters. If you do, search your deck for a level 1 or lower striker character and place it onto any border on the stage, then shuffle your deck. This one is okay, especially for a trial deck, because you can, most trial decks don't have many ways to search, or gain advantage. And this one can help you like search and set up your field properly, and many trial decks don't have ways to tap their back row. So this one is, a good way to use your back row efficiently to tap because of her cost. So for a trial deck card, I think she's fairly solid. You play the wind trigger, you pay 1, you tap 2 of your striker characters, you search your deck for a level 1 or lower striker, and then you place onto any border on your stage. Of course, the prime target for this is going to be the card we're going to talk about right now, which is this 116k right here. Alte Torte Sajima Yumi, Striker and Food. Food, what the hell? I guess she eats a lot even though she's hella skinny. So what's up with that? Why can't it be like that in real life? Anyways, this card, when this card declares an attack with the wind trigger, and if you have 2 or more striker characters, this card gets plus 1 level and plus 2k power until the end of your opponent's next turn, and she does have hand encore. So Subame, you can grab any level 1 or lower character. Of course, because if you grab a 1-1, that's totally okay because she still meets the criteria. If this set had a 1-2, you can even grab that, and that would be absolutely hilarious because 1-2s are just terrible. But anyways, this 1-1, pretty lackluster card. It's a 116k, so super weak. But she does have hand encore, I guess, to help mitigate that. And she's only good with a climax combo. When you attack with the climax, if you come to level 2 and she becomes 8k power, pretty much 9k on offense because of course the wind trigger does give it that 1k boost. And wind triggers are continuous, so it does apply to her. So this Yumi, for a child card, I think it's kind of fun, and it's okay. It's whatever, to be honest. Without her climax, she's just way too weak. So, it's okay. But for a trial deck card, I think it's pretty fun, and it's actually okay. It's impervious to suiciders, and 8k power, and it has hand encore. So, I guess in the end, it's okay. So of course, obviously the prime target for this is this 1/1. Unless there's another 1/1 that we'll see later into this week or into next week. But as of right now, this is definitely the prime target for this 1/0 because it costs 1, and of course you don't want to be grabbing costless character with this because that way you're losing out on like resources and you're losing out on value. So definitely grab a 1/1 with her, and as of right now, this is the only 1/1, so definitely the best target. And of course, this one does combo with the same wind trigger, so this is the best target for it. Next up, another card that combos with Awaiting Combat, 00500 Namori Mana, which is pretty much Nico in disguise. Striker and card game. Lol, card game, what the hell. Anyways, 500 front assist. And once again, combos with the wind trigger. When you play the wind trigger, choose one of your characters to get plus 2k power until the end of the turn. So, pretty big power boost. And for a trial deck card, I think it's kind of cool and kind of fun. 500 front assist, that's okay. You know, most trial decks have like vanilla 500 assists. So the fact that this one is special and has another ability, I think makes it pretty cool. And for the trial deck, of course, I think it's really good because I'm assuming the trial deck is going to have 4 wind triggers. Imagine if the trial deck only had 1 wind triggers. That would be like the most dickish move Bushiroad can make. But obviously, the main theme of this trial deck is to combo off Alte or Awaiting Combat. And this one helps accomplish that. You play the wind trigger and you give a character plus 2k power, which is pretty good. Pretty much 3k power because 1k from the climax and 2k from her. So pretty much 3k power for the turn. So pretty good. So a very good level 0 ace assist. Will it be used in the main deck? I don't think so. I don't think this wind trigger climax combo is strong enough to be used in the main deck. And of course, if Awaiting Combat is not being used in the main deck, then this assist is not going to be used as well because she's only really good with Awaiting Combat. So yeah, overall, good for the trial deck, but I don't see any of these being ran in the main booster because I don't think it's good enough. Maybe if the new booster, maybe if their booster released a climax, that, or maybe like, no, actually I don't know. Never mind. I don't really see any of these being used in the actual build. So hopefully when the new booster comes, hopefully when the booster comes out, they will have better climax combos. But for the trial deck, I think it's a lot of fun. Anyways, let's go on to 105k Double R Snow Fairy Ilya, Master and Homunculus. I think this is the first blue Double R we've seen, huh? So what she does is, when this card declares an attack with the Climax official contract, which is this blue stock 1 soul, Climax common. When it attacks with the stock 1 soul and you have 4 more Master or Servant characters, you may draw a card. So like I said many times, these 1/0 characters that combos and that can gain you advantage for no cost are very good. And Ilya, she's okay. The biggest problem with Ilya is that she's in blue, and blue is not that popular of a color in Fate, to my knowledge. Usually there's Archer Rin builds, Green Rider builds, or like Saber Shiro builds, or like a good stuff build with like many different colors. So maybe in that this will be okay, but like blue as a standalone color, it's not that great to be honest. Like the best part about blue is probably the old healing event, which is what right here. Is it here actually? Yeah, good friend trio. Pay 3, choose 3 clock cards in your clock. Send it to the waiting room. Send this to memory. This is probably like the best card in blue, from what I know of at least. But still, as a standalone card, it's fairly solid. You play the stock 1 soul, you gain yourself a stock, you attack, and you don't even have to reverse your opponent's character, you just attack. And we have 4 Master or Servants, which is easy enough to accomplish because like Rin's a Master, Shiro's a Master, Caster's a Master, Servants, Saber, Archer, Berserker of course, all servants. So her condition is really easy to meet. And if you have like multiple Ilyas, you can like just multiply draw a lot of cards for no cost. And yeah, overall, it's a solid card. Will it be used in like a normal Fate's Day Night deck? I don't really see it happening, to be honest. Cause like I said, it's in blue. But maybe we'll see. But of course, for like a mono blue deck or like a Ilya Berserker deck, which they seem to be pushing for, because last week we saw some really cool Ilya Berserker cards, definitely for the Ilya Berserker deck, this is definitely going to be staple. And if you're running like a mono blue deck for whatever reason, this is of course going to be staple in my opinion. So, double R worthy, yes. Will it be ran in like normal builds? I don't really see it happening, but we'll just have to see. Kind of nice as a climax common as well. Next up, more of our favorite little lolly, Ilya 001KR, Outbreak of Battle Ilya, Master Homunculus. When this card is played from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a master or servant character, add it to your hand, then discard one card from your hand. And next up, it has another pretty awesome ability. When this card is played from hand to stage, you can pay cost, which is pay 1, clock yourself. If you do, draw a card. Outbreak of Battle Ilya, I think, is a fairly solid card with two pretty solid abilities. Her on-play ability is quite nice. We've seen this on-play ability time and time again, and they have proven to be fairly useful. On-play, reveal top. If it's a certain attribute or trait, add it to your hand, discard a card. Very good way to hand fix. If you have excess climaxes in your hand, you can hopefully play this and reveal a character off the top, and then add it to your hand and discard that said climax. So a very nice way to hand fix. Can be a good way to to help like mill your deck faster by just playing this for the free draw and ditch. So very good utility off the first effect, and a fairly decent nice secondary utility ability as well in the second effect. You play her, you pay 1, clock yourself, draw a card. Not as good as like something like pay 1, clock yourself to search, pay 1, clock yourself to salvage. Not as good as those, but still you do gain advantage off of it for a relatively low cost, and at level 0 doing that is really awesome because it helps you push yourself to level 1 faster. So overall, this Ilya has two pretty awesome abilities, and it's a level 0, so you don't have to commit blue into your deck to run her. You could just run 1 or 2 of these as a tech card, and I think it'd be fairly solid. So overall, this Ilya, I think it's really good. If you don't have trouble maintaining colors in your deck, and you have like an extra like 1 or 2 space in your level 0 lineup, maybe you can try some of these Ilyas, because I think she has two really good utility abilities. So I think this Ilya definitely has my seal of approval, and it's very solid. Like I said, if you can manage your colors well enough, and you don't feel like you need extra colors, and you can squeeze in 1 or 2 level 0s, I think this Ilya can be a pretty good way to do so. And of course, if you're running mono blue, or if you're running a blue heavy deck, or if you're running like a Ilya Berserker deck, this is of course even that much more awesome for that build. Next up, 00500 Uncommon Strong Bond Ilya, Master and Homunculus. When this card is placed from your stage to your waiting room, you can pay cost, which is 2. If you do, switch your deck for up to 1 Relationship of Trust Ilya and Berserker, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Bonds has a pay 1 bond for a stalwart defense, stalwart servant Berserker. I guess we should talk about the bond target first. It is this 1-0 right here, 1045 common servant and weapon. So if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this card gets plus 1k, and this card has Clock Encore. I guess we should talk about this Berserker first. This Berserker is okay, especially for a common. 5 or more cards in your hand, which is easy enough to accomplish. And I think it'll be even easier to accomplish in like a Ilya Berserker deck because of the cards that can generate you advantage, like this 1-0. And Ilya has some other pretty cool cards that can generate you advantage, like of course this 0-0 we just talked about, and I'm pretty sure that old cards in the past that can help you generate advantage as well. Even this level 0 helps you generate advantage, so Ilya has all kinds of ways to generate advantage. So I think for an Ilya Berserker deck, he's going to be really good. He's a 1055 almost all the time because, like I said, Ilya has so many ways to generate you advantage. And he has Clock Encore. Not the greatest card ever, but in the Ilya and Berserker deck, you don't have much better options, to be honest. So I think he'll be really good for Ilya and Berserker because he's a bond target and he has Clock Encore and he's 5/5, so he has okay power. This level 0 that bonds for this. The other card that this grabs, so when she dies, you pay 2, you search for Relationship of Trust Ilya and Berserker we talked about last week, if you don't remember, is this level 3 right here. This is the one that's just like Ranko, that combos with the book as well. And of course, if you're running Ilya and Berserker, she is going to be your only real game ender. So yeah, in the Ilya and Berserker deck, I think the Strong Bond Ilya is really good because has a pay 1 bond for your 1-0, and it has on death, pay 2 search for the level 3. So, pretty good utility in the Ilya and Berserker deck. In the non-Ilya and Berserker deck, I don't recommend this because If you're not running Ilya Berserker, you're probably not running this Berserker, and if you're not running Ilya Berserker, you're probably not going to be playing this level 3. I mean, you could be playing this level 3 in like a mono blue deck, or like if your deck runs blue and you want to run this, you could be doing that, but you know, I don't think you need this level 0 to get this. So overall, I think it's an okay card. Like I think, like even if you're running Ilya Berserker, I don't even think you need her to. I don't even think you need her if you're running both of these two cards, because this is a level 3 and it's easy enough to grab as it is. And this one, it's okay, but I really like. I don't think it's a great bond target, so I don't think this card is completely necessary in Ilya Berserker deck. But I think it's if you're running one, it doesn't hurt to have. So if you have the space, you could add 1 or 2 of these in your Ilya Berserker decks, and I think you'll be fairly good. If you're not running Ilya Berserker, I don't think you need to be running her. And even if you are running Ilya Berserker, I still don't think she's like 100% necessary. So yeah, that's it for Tuesday. Anyways, on to Wednesday. This 1-0 5K TD Dining Table Detective Satoka Striker and Detective trait. She's kind of like Naoto. She kind of looks like her, and she's all detective-like. Anyways, during your own turn, plus 1K. Lots of trial deck cards have this ability in yellow, and it's whatever. Hopefully, or when the new booster comes out, I'm sure they will get better 1-0s. But for a trial deck card, it's standard, so whatever. I'm sure they'll get better 1-0s than this. Next up, 0-0 3K. Casual and closing, or going in casual close Satoka, and vanilla. So a really cute vanilla, but so it's just a vanilla. Next up, 1-1 Monica exclusive ultimate transforming clearing robot Mune Mushune Mark II, whatever. 1-1 event. If you do not control a striker character, you cannot play this card from your hand. However, when you do play this card from your hand, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card, add it to your hand, then discard any remaining amount to the waiting room. This card is okay. Controlling a striker should be really easy, because like I said, every character is a striker. So this card pretty much has no downside. I really don't know why this card needed that first effect. But anyways, you play it, look at top 3, add a card, kill the rest. Not the greatest card, but in this set it seems pretty good, because as we've seen so far, the set is revolved around like climax combos, and this card can grab any card. So you can grab climax, of course, and that'd be pretty awesome. You could be like, if you're missing the climax, maybe this 1-1 will help you grab that climax. That way you can get your 5-character climax combo off. You could be like, search, grab a character, attack, power. Oh, this level 0, give power, and then attack. All your characters freaking get memory shoot. So, pretty cool in this set. But will it be like pretty cool card? I think it's really fun for the TD. It gives this TD a little more consistency and adds a little more spice to it. But will it be used in the main deck? I don't really see it happening, but maybe. We'll see. If they're super dependent on climax combos and they have like really awesome climax combos, maybe. But as of right now, I don't really see it happening, or I don't really see it being used in like a main deck. Anyways, let's go on. 001K PR. Like, why are they revealing a PR already? So I have no idea how you get this PR. Maybe like a promotional event, or like maybe you get one to TD. That's weird. Promo in a TD. I don't know. I have no idea how to get this. Anyways, special mission. Io and Yumi. Striker, of course. During your own turn, all your striker characters get plus 500 power. As another ability, when this plays from hand to stage, you can pay 2. You can pay cost, which is pay 2. If you do, switch your deck from 1 striker character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card is okay. 500 assist during your own turn, which is quite nice, but I think the best part about this ability is it's on play. You play it, you pay 2, you search for your deck. You search your deck for a striker character, and then you gives 500 power for the turn. And most likely next turn she will die, but at that point she's done her job. She gave 500 power and she searched in the process. So overall, I think it's a fairly solid card. I can even see this card being ran in like the main build as a tech 1 or 2 of. So definitely a fairly solid promo. I just have no idea how to get it, but if you guys do know how, maybe you should be grabbing 1 or 2 of these, because I do see potential in this card, and I think it's very playable in like a normal deck. On to more Unlimited Blade Works. 2-1 8KR Committed Assault Shido, Master and Weapon. When this card declares an attack with Ro Ias, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. So when it attacks with the Ro Ias, you may pay cost, which is 1. If you do, place X cards from the top of your deck and place them underneath this card to serve as a marker, and this card gets plus 1500 power until the end of the turn. X is the number of weapon or jewel characters you control, so pretty much weapons are what? Shiro, Archer, Saber, and jewels are Rin, so pretty much a lot of relevant characters. And it has another ability of, during the start of your opponent's attack phase, place all markers underneath this card to the waiting room. If you do, for every soul trigger icon within those cards, the character directly opposite of this loses 1 soul until the end of the turn. And of course, Eels right here is a, stock 1 soul if I recall correctly? Yes, red stock 1 soul. This is the Climax Rare version, and this is the Secret Rare version. Pretty cool alternate art. Very fitting of these two. Anyways, this Shido, a little too gimmicky for my taste. And even if you do get it off, I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. So the Climax combo is essentially free because the stock 1 soul is, it gives you 1 stock, and his Climax combo does require 1, so it's essentially free. He doesn't gain that much power because the stock 1 soul doesn't give any power, as we all know, and he gets plus 1500 power, so he's only 9-5, so he can still die to backups, and he can't even kill level 3s that come out at level 2, or he just can't kill level 3s period at level 3, so he's not very, you have to be kind of careful with him, because if you attack and he dies after you pay cost, then you just lose all those markers for no reason. And then during the start of your opponent's attack phase, you kill all those markers, and they lose 1 soul, or per soul trigger you hit with those markers. So the max you can hit is 5? Yeah, because if you have 5 weapon or jewel characters, then he gets 5 markers, and you send all 5 of those markers. If each one of those have a soul, then that's minus 5 soul. If all of those are 2 soul climaxes, like if you hit 5 of these, 3 of these, and I don't know, 2 of these, that'd be pretty hilarious. That's minus 10 soul, but that's super unnecessary. Still, this Shido, I mean, in some situations he's okay. Like if you're out a lot of climaxes, you can kind of use this like a very cheap pseudo brainstorm. If you have 5 characters and you use this effect, and then you put 5 clean cards underneath him as markers, and then you send them off, that's pretty good because that's 5 less damage you could be taking, and you might lose soul to your opponent's characters for the turn, and so it can help your survivability in that way. So that'd be pretty cool. But that's the only real situation I can see this card being good at. If you hit climaxes with him, that's not very good because climaxes allow you to not take damage for the turn, right? Or not take damage for that attack, right? And this Shield pretty much only mitigates 1 attack because you only choose the character opposite of this, and that character loses 1 soul, or 1 soul per. So if you hit 2 or 3 climaxes with this, that's really bad because you actually hurt yourself more than by doing that. So it's and you can't really control it either. There's no card unless you look at top 4, or top 5, or top 3, depending on how many you want to do with him. So a little too inconsistent. You really can't control what it is. And even if you put 5 underneath him and then you hit no soul triggers, that'd be pretty sad because then your opponents don't lose any soul. But if that was the case, then if it all characters, it's good. But still, like I said, it's a little too inconsistent. It's really good if you hit 5 clean cards. If you hit 5 characters and put it underneath him, then it's pretty good. But if you hit 1, 2, 3, 4 climaxes even, then he's really, really bad. And you can't really control it. So a bit too inconsistent in my opinion. The set has so many climax combos at this point. I think you're better off running better climax combos. So not really a fan of this. And it's Shido. I'm sure you guys know now, I don't like Shido. Next up, Archer, I'm sure you guys can guess, will also combo with the stock 1 soul. So, Servant and Weapon. Oh wow, he's a double R? Damn, I just noticed that. Okay, so this is the 3rd double R for this set. Or for red, I should say. Ideal Despair, Archer, Servant and Weapon. So, continuous ability, all your other weapon or jewel characters get +1 gauge power. And he has another ability of when the Climax Rios is played on your Climax border, you can pay cost, which is place one of your characters in stand to rest. If you do, place the top 7 cards of your deck to the bottom of this card to serve as a marker. And as an auto ability, during the start of your opponent's draw phase, place all markers underneath this card to the waiting room. If there's any climaxes amongst those cards, this card gains the following ability until the end of the turn, where you cannot take damage from your opponent's auto abilities. So this archer, I think, is fairly interesting, and it's kind of cool, but just like Shiro, I don't really like it, and I think it's a little too inconsistent. So, Archer. He's a 1k global for weapon and jewel characters, which is really relevant in your Archer and Rin deck, because as we all know, all your Archers are weapon and all your Rins are jewels. So in your Archer and Rin deck, he's a 1k global, and for most decks, he should be a 1k global as well, since a lot of characters are weapon like Shiro and Saber. So, and I think some of the riders are weapons as well. So, he's good for that. His climax combo is cool because it's costless, which is also nice. And you don't even have to pay 1. But like I said, it's too inconsistent. You're putting 7 cards from your deck and putting it underneath them as a marker. And when it's your opponent's draw phase, you kill all of those, and if there's a single climax amongst them, then your opponent cannot deal damage to you by auto abilities. That's actually really good in certain matchups, like as we know, 2 Love or Darkness is totally dependent on their auto abilities to game end. And it's nice because it's at the start of your opponent's draw phase. So like you can stop like on play burn ones like the level 3 Momo. Right? I believe that's an auto ability, right? Should be. Yep, auto. So you can stop cards like level 3 Momo, or like the new level 3 Maria we saw last week, or 2 weeks ago for Sinful Gear. So I think that's pretty cool. You can stop cards like that. So certain sets you can completely stop their game ending, but in some sets it doesn't really matter. Like if they have double attackers or clock shooters, then it's like no good. And once again, you cannot control this because there's no cards as you look at top 7. So once again, it's kind of situational. If you hit like 6 characters and 1 climax with his ability, that's super fantastic because you only lose one. You lose 1 climax, yes, but you hit 6 clean damage, or you hit 6 characters, and so you're not taking auto damage for the turn, which is totally awesome. But once again, it's too inconsistent. If you hit like 7 cards, it's such a huge amount. If you hit like 2 or 3 climaxes or 4 climaxes, which is totally possible with 7 cards, you can actually just kill yourself off with Archer's ability. So yeah, once again, too inconsistent, very situational. If you know you only have like 2 or 1 climaxes left in your deck, then he can be pretty good in those situations, but that's not going to happen all the time. And if you're compressed, which should be like your main goal, then he's not going to be good for you, because if you're compressed, you're going to hit way too many climaxes with him, and that's not good at all. So quite situational once again. Quite situational again. A, he's situational on the matchup, and B, his secondary ability, or like getting top 7, is once again situational and luck based and inconsistent and not reliable. So I like the idea behind these two. I think it's fitting of their characters. You know, Rio Isles is like cool because it's like the ultimate shield, and it's cool how they both have different versions of it. So I really like the theme of these cards, and I think they're kind of cool and they're pretty unique, but not my cup of tea. I think you're better off running better climax combos than something that's a little too inconsistent. And these climax combos, like I said, can kill yourself. So I don't like it, but I like the idea. Anyways, let's go on to the best girl, 2/8k common, ultimate / saber, servant and weapon. When you have Trace on Shiro in your clock, this card loses 1 level in your hand. Trace on Shiro was the brainstorm we talked about last week, and she has clock encore. This card is okay. You have Trace on Shiro in your clock, she loses 1 level, which is pretty good because she's a 1 stock character, or a level 1 character. However, she costs 2 stock, which is a pretty big amount. And she has clock encore, which is nice. It helps keep her around. So her being level 2 makes her impervious to suicides, and of course her being 8k base makes her pretty difficult to reverse. And if they do reverse her, then you could just clock encore her back. So she has some pretty nice survivability, but if your opponent triggers that wind trigger, you are just screwed. You wind trigger this back, and you pay another 2 stock to get her out on the field. So, I mean, she's okay, but wind trigger is actually really relevant nowadays, like especially with To Love Through Darkness, running wind triggers. There's just I don't think it's not worth it. I don't think it's good enough. So I would say stray away from this card. So sad. I mean, Saber didn't get much good cards this set. Her best card was what, the level 3, and that's it. So sad. Anyways, let's go on. 3295R Twin Blade User Archer. So another level 3 for Archer, and another level 3 to add to the repertoire of Archer and Rin decks. And so this card, Servant and Weapon. When this card is played from hand to stage, you can pay cost, which is discard 1 card from your hand. If you do, choose up to 1 weapon character from your hand whose level is equal or lower to your current level and place it onto any border on your stage. And he has another ability of when this card is played from hand to stage, you can pay cost, which is discard a card. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower center stage characters and send it to your opponent's waiting room. So Twin Blade Archer, I really don't like, and I don't think he's very good. His on-play ability, it's okay. So you play level 3 Archer, you discard 1 card from your hand, and if you do, you play any weapon character from your hand whose level is equal or lower to your current level and place onto any border on the stage. Of course, it's a weapon character, so the only characters you can play are Archers, Shiros, and Sabers. Kinda sucks you can't play Rins, because, Archer kinda goes along with Rin, but she's a jewel and master, so you can't grab her. So, and of course you can grab like level 3 Rider, but I don't think you'll be running her in this kind of build. But it's super hand intensive, but it's stock efficient, but it's hand intensive, so it's like a hit or miss. And of course, because they're being played from your hand, you do get their on play ability. So like with the new level 3 Saber, you get to heal. The level 3 Saber from the last set, you get the Musashi ability. The Yeah, and then we'll see another level 3 Shiro later this week that also has an on-play ability. So I think his first effect is okay, because it's like stock efficient, but it's not hand efficient. But if you discard a climax with this, then it's pretty good. But so his first effect is okay, actually. I take that back. His first effect is okay. But his second effect, I really don't think is necessary. I really don't think you should be using his second effect. On play, you discard a card, and then you kill one of your opponent's level 3 or front row characters. I don't think that's really necessary. I think that's too much hand size. Like, if you're playing him, I think you should be playing him for his first ability. His second ability is a little too hand intensive in my opinion. Like, if you play him and you discard 2 cards from your hand for his ability, and you play the level 3 from your hand with his ability, that's like 3 cards out of your hand. And that's just too much. Hand size, always really important in all stages of the game. And so, I mean, in some situations, his second ability might be useful, because you can like let's say you're playing against Lock Horizon, and then your opponent used like Shiro ability to give the -2 soul shenanigan. You can play Archer and get rid of that. Like other cards can be like, if your opponent has like 1 level 3 in the front row, and you want to attack, but you're afraid of anti-damage backups, you can try to kill off that level 3, so that way your opponent has 1 less character on the field to use anti-damage with. So you can like try to use in that situation. So secondary ability is very situational in my opinion. And but I don't really think he's necessary. Actually, the more I talk about him, the more I kind of like him. Anyways, his first effect, overall, I think this card is kind of situational. It's a little hand intensive. If you can discard climaxes with him, I think that's really good, or that's fairly good. But if you can't, then oh well. His first ability is okay. It saves you a lot of stock, but his secondary ability is, I think, very, very, very situational. In the end, I think he's an okay card, but I don't think he's necessary in any build. If we're running Archer Rin, he's not that good, because you can only play other Archers in your Archer and Rin build. The other really good level 3 Archer is, of course... Oh, where'd he go? This Archer from the old booster. I think he'd be a pretty good target to play, because he has a pretty nifty on-attack ability. So there's that. So in your archer Rin decks, he's not that great because you can only grab other archers. And his secondary ability, like I said, is very situational. But if you're running like a archer, Rin, saber, if you're running like a deck that consists of multiple different characters, that's not archer and Rin, then I think he can be okay. Like if you play out saber, any of the sabers, you get like pretty decent on play abilities. So there's that. So I think he's cool. I like the idea behind him, but I don't think he's necessary, and I think you're better off running better level 3s. And so in the end, I really don't see people running him because I really just think you're better off running better level 3s. Next up, 1-0. Backup 2-5 uncommon. Complicated Thoughts Rin. Master and Jewel. Super cute art. Ugh, I love it. Anyways, it's a 1k backup, but what this does is when you use this card as a backup, you can pay cost, which is discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, choose one of your opponent's character whose level is greater than your opponent's level and send it off to your opponent's waiting room. So once again, anti-change, however, it's a level 1 card. And I don't really think this card is necessary because, first of all, it's an extremely low power backup. 2, anti-change. Yes, anti-change is very nice. This one's a little heavy though because you have to discard 2 cards from your hand, so you're kind of losing 3 cards in your hand. You're losing 1 card for using this backup, and you're losing an additional 2 for the cost. And you do kill off an opponent's character, which is nice. But it's a level 1 card, and level 2s that come out at level 1 aren't that relevant in today's meta. Like the best one I could think about is the 2/2 from Rewrite. That's like a really good card you can target, or you could target like maybe the 2/1 Vivid Red or the 2/1 Vivid Blue in Vivid Red Operation, but not many players run Vivid Red Operation anymore. But those are cards you can hit, but in the end, it's like too matchup specific, and I think you're better off with this 2/1 right here. This 2/1 is once again an anti-changer, and anti-change is a bit more relevant against level 2, and this one is a level 2 card, and it's more efficient in resources. So I think this card, like if you're running Archer Rin and you're running the Karada Bulk 2, I think this is definitely the winner. But this card does work in any build. You don't have to be running an Archer Rin deck for it. You could just be running any Fate Stay Night deck, and you could be using this Rin anti-change backup. So for that reason alone, I think this card is playable. Heavy in resources, yes. But if you can anti-change an opponent's character successfully at level 1, that's quite good. And this card is still relevant at level 2 against your opponent's characters. A little heavy, yes. But of course, you can discard any 2 cards from your hand. And you don't even have to use this for anti-changing. Like if your opponent attacks you, and you're about to refresh and you have 2 climaxes in your hand, you can use this anti-change backup, or you can use the backup, pay cost, even though you have no targets for it, and then you discard 2 cards, yes, but if you discard like 2 climaxes, that's really, really, really good. So this Rin, I think, is fairly solid. I don't think it's a little unnecessary in your Archer and Rin build if you're running Karada Bulk 2 as your Resonate of choice, which I think is the right call. But, so yeah, unnecessary in that build, but in other builds, I think she's a pretty decent tech card, so you could run 1 or maybe 2 of these. I really don't recommend more than 2. I would say stick to 1 in like a normal Fate Stay Night deck, and I don't think you can go wrong, because it's anti-change, and you can help discard excess climaxes before refresh, and the art is really sexy. So yeah, overall, that's my seal of approval, and definitely a worthy uncommon in my opinion. Man, only on Thursday, huh? 1 hour. Anyways, 003K TD, Graceful Appearance, EO, Striker on Sports, the best card in this set because it's vanilla. Next up, more EO, 001500 EO, Striker and Sports. I guess this girl's pretty popular, huh? Because she has a decent amount of cards and she's the level 3 for this set. So I don't know anything about the set, like I said, but I assume she's fairly popular. Anyways, during the start of your own turn, this card gets plus 1k power. Or I'm sorry, continuous ability. During your own turn, it gets plus 1k power. And when this card declares an attack, choose one striker character, it gets plus 1 level and plus 1k until the end of the turn. This EO, I think it's okay. Mainly for the secondary ability, giving a character plus 1k and plus 1 level can be quite nice. The 1k power is an okay boost, and the plus 1 level can be pretty good, killing off your opponent's lone suiciders, and she can target herself. So if you're at level 0, if your opponent has like a wandering level 0 suicider, you can just play this EO, attack, choose herself as the target, and then you can get over it with the +1 level and the +1k. So I think that's pretty cool. So overall, I think it's a fairly solid trial deck card. But will it be used in the main decks? I mean, I hope they'll have better level 0s than this. But maybe, like, if the set is power dependent, and maybe you just need that one extra level 0, then maybe you could try one of these. But I'm hoping they'll have better levels. I'm hoping they'll have better level 0 options than this. Like, maybe better utility cards. The art's pretty cute on this one, though. Anyways, let's go on to 229K TD, Striker and Queen, first generation Eternal Queen EO. So, I'm sure you guys do know by now, I despise tutus. This one's a tutu vanilla, so this is like the bane of my existence. So I don't like this card. I definitely don't. It's a bad card. So if you're buying multiple TDs, this is definitely one of the cards you should take out first. And in the main deck, I don't see this card. You should never be running this card in your main deck. Next up, 2175R, Tragic Magician, Caster, Servant and Servant and Master. I'm so used to saying Servant and Weapon together, but Caster is a Master. Anyways, auto ability, when your other Master or Servant character declares an attack, this card gets +1k power until the end of the turn. Climax combos with Fulfilled Wish, which is this Pants, 1k 1 soul of course, Climax common. During the start of your opponent's draw phase, if this card is in the front row, you can pay cost, which is pay 3 to discard a Pants. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or below characters in stand, place it to rest, and deal X damage to your opponent where X is the soul of that character. So Caster, I think, is a fairly interesting card. I don't think we've really seen anything like this yet in Weiss, and I think it's a lot of fun and cool. Her first ability is it's okay. She's low power, but her first ability makes her a little better on offense, so that's nice. Her climax combo, I think it's cool, but I don't really see this being ran. It's very heavy. You have to pay 3 and discard a Pants. Discarding the Pants is not too difficult, especially if you're running multiple Pants, because on your own turn, if you attack and you trigger a Pants, you can grab a Pants, and that way you meet her criteria next turn. So the fact that she combos with the Pants is quite nice, makes her climax combo all that much more playable, but still very resource heavy because you do have to pay 3 for it. And during the start of your opponent's draw phase, at the start of your opponent's draw phase, or at the start of your opponent's turn, they untap all their characters, so they all go back to stand, and then they draw, and then you can activate her ability. You pay 3, you discard a Fulfilled Wish. You choose one of your opponent's characters at level 3 or below, which is pretty much like every card they own, unless they have level 4 characters via +1 level assists, but that's not that relevant. You put it to rest, and you deal X to your opponent, where X is the soul of that character. Most of the time, you will only be dealing 2 damage to your opponent's character, because most level 3s are only 2 soul. But nowadays, we've seen level 3s with 3 soul, like, of course, Sinful Gear we talked about in the last that we talked about a week or 2 back ago. So, Sinful Gear does have level 3 characters with 3 soul. There's also the level 3 Toma from Toaru, that is also a prime target for this. That character also has 3 soul. So, like this card, I like the idea, but I think it's a little too heavy, and you're only dealing like 2 damage to it, or you're only dealing like 2 damage max most of the time. Sometimes you'll deal 3, but most of the time you'll only be dealing 2. And I don't think it's good enough. I think you're better off running better climax combos, and and you're better off using your stock and your resources for other things. I guess another cool part about this is that you do place one of your opponent's characters in stand to rest. So you do that character is in rest for the rest of the turn, so they can't really attack with it. So that's nice. But it's the start of your opponent's draw phase, so of course they're probably going to be playing over that character to play. They just play over that character, and then that way they just attack you for 3 characters again. So yeah, for mono blue, I guess this card is okay because mono blue or like blue doesn't have much going on for it. So I guess in that situation it's quite nice. But in like a normal Fate Stay Night deck, I don't really see this card being used. And like this card is just super heavy. You pay 3 and discard a card. The level 3 caster from the last set was what, pay 4, ditch 2 was it? Let me double check really quick. Yeah, pay 4, ditch 2. That's super heavy as well. So if you're like, if you plan on using this at level 2 or level 3, will you really have enough to use it in conjunction with the last level 3 caster from last booster? Because if you're running blue, I'm assuming you're running a couple of these. So, like, it's just really, really, really heavy. And I don't know if you really have that much resources available to you. But, you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. We'll see. But I don't really see this card being used in normal decks. You know, if you're running blue, maybe you could run this in conjunction with the level 3 Ilya, because the level 3 Ilya is light on resources. So maybe you could be running like 4 Pants, 4 Book, 4 level 3 Ilyas, like 2 or 3 of these. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I like this card a lot. I kind of want it to be good, but I just don't see this card. I just don't see this happening. It's a little too heavy. So, yeah. And it's dependent on your opponent's board. So, like, if your opponent, like, if you reverse all your opponent's characters successfully, then there's not much good targets, huh? Because you have to target your opponent's back row character, and if they had the most characters back rows are level 2s or level 1s or level 0s, and at that point you're only dealing 1 soul damage. So, it kind of forces you to not reverse all your opponent's field. So, actually, that makes me not like this even more. So, don't really see this card being ran at all. Now that I think about it, I want this to be good though. It's so cool. Tap a character and you deal damage to them. I think that's super cool, and it's very fitting of caster. But I just don't see it being ran. I want it to be good though. Next up, 105KR Ancient Magician Caster, Servant and Master. When your other master characters are front attack, you can pay cost, which is 1. If you do, choose one of your battling characters, get plus 2/5 power until the end of the turn. Seen this card time and time again. We've very similar to what the Akane level 1 from Vivid Red. I think that was like the first one of its kind, or at least the first relevant one in my opinion. So very similar to that. Love Live has this with the one of Umi. This card is okay. Give a master plus 2/5 power. Can be pretty decent, but in blue, there's not that many good masters. Like the best masters are what, Ilya, and we've seen Ilya's just what. Ilya's a little girl, man. She's not gonna be punching people really hard. So, like, there's Ilya, there's Caster for blue, and that's it, right? Or Soul Ichiro, and that's like really it for masters, and they're not that strong. So, and like in the other colors, there's what, Rin, Shittle, but I think those cards aren't really going to be. I don't think those decks are going to be running blue, so I don't think this card is necessary. I think there's better. If you're running blue, then I think this card is gonna, you're gonna be running it. It's a fairly good card. Not good. It's an okay card. It's an okay card, but I don't think it's necessary. And it's in blue, and blue's a whatever color. So, in the end, I don't think you should be running it in your normal Fate Stay Night decks. If you're running like a blue heavy deck, then maybe you can get this to work. But it does have potential. I'm not saying as a standalone card it's nice, but I don't think it works very well in the set. 00500 common Ultimate Magic Caster, Servant and Master. Your other character in the middle border of your center stage gets +1 game power. And when this card is placed from your hand to the stage, you can pay cost, which is discard a card. If you do, choose one encounter in the rain from your waiting room and return it to your hand. The encounter in the rain is the next card we'll see right here. It's this 1/0 uncommon event. You look at top 4 cards of your deck, you choose one blue character amongst them, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, and discard the remaining amount. So very similar to Cut Out of Bulk 2, except Cut Out of Bulk 2 grabs red characters, and encounter in the rain grabs blue cards. Or blue characters, I should say. I think Cut Out of Bulk 2 is good because of the fact that it's a resonate target. Encounter in the rain isn't needed for resonate unless they like introduce it next week. But as of right now, it's not needed for resonate. So I don't think this card is very necessary. Like I think Cut Out of Bulk 2 is necessary for the resonate, but this one not very much because you don't need to resonate with it. And because of that, I don't think the Bonder is very necessary because like the main reason for this bond is to grab the encounter in the rain. But like I said, I don't think encounter in the rain is very necessary, so I don't think you need the bond for it. So overall, I think the level 0 is unnecessary, but the level 1 is okay. Like it's not the worst card ever. If you're running a blue heavy deck, then you can't get this card to work. But like for blue heavy decks, you have what, Ilya, you have the Ilya Berserker build, and last week we saw a fairly decent Ilya Berserker backup. So if you're running like Ilya Berserker, you're going to be running some of that backup. And do you really want to be running this event on top of those backups? Because that's like a lot of events at that point, and it might get a little clunky. And so I just don't think this card is very necessary. I don't think it's very good either. And I don't think many people are going to be running a blue heavy deck unless it's Ilya and Berserker. And like I said, Ilya Berserker already has a pretty good event we saw last week, so unnecessary in my opinion. Next up, Soul Ichiro. This is like the first Soul Ichiro card we saw. 1055 common, results of the wish. Soul Ichiro, pretty badass guy. Don't want to fuck with him. Master and teacher. When you have another character with caster in its name, this card gets plus 1500 power. So with another caster, you get plus 15. So he'll be what 7k, which is really strong for a 1/0. But the character directly opposite of this gains plus 1 soul, which can be quite devastating. So Soul Ichiro, I like the idea behind him. He needs caster, and if you do have a caster, he's quite strong. He'll be a 107k, which is pretty ridiculous. But of course, the downside is you need a caster, and you need to give the character plus 1 soul in front of him. So the character in front of him will have plus 1 soul, so they can always side against Soul Ichiro for 1 soul. And Soul Ichiro is still susceptible to suicide, so if he does get like suicided, or if he just gets run over by normal means, by like another level 1, or maybe like by a level 2 or 3 character, him giving that plus 1 soul can be pretty devastating, and it might actually hurt you. So that's also a downside. But in the end, it can also be a plus side. Like if you have at level 3, if you have like 3 Soul Ichiros in the front row, and you give all your opponent's character plus 1 soul, and if you're compressed, that plus 1 soul you're giving to your opponent might actually give you the advantage in canceling. So there's that. So I think Soul Ichiro is a really cool card, and really, I think it's cool. I think his secondary ability most of the time will probably be a bad side effect because, you know, you're taking extra damage potentially. But I like the idea how at level 3 it can be pretty cool giving your opponent's character plus 1 soul, and then it might make them cancel more. So I think that's kind of cool. But in the end, I don't see him being ran. Not enough good caster cards in my opinion to make this like viable in a normal build. And you know, if you're running a blue heavy deck with lots of casters, then you know, go ahead and run Soul Ichiro. But no one's gonna be running a caster heavy deck, right? So I don't think he's necessary, and I don't think he's only good if you're running a caster heavy deck. And even at that point, it's questionable because he's giving a plus 1 soul to all your opponent's to the characters in front of him. So you know, he's hit or miss. You know, if you're running a caster heavy deck, why not go the full caster theme, right? Just run a couple Soul Ichiro. But I really don't see him being ran in like a normal competitive build. And lastly, on to Friday, 0025 TD, the day she paid a visit, Tsubame, Striker and Mystery. If you have no other characters, this card gains plus 1 level and plus 1500 power. A very solid card, especially for a trial deck. Definitely playable in like a normal build. By herself, she's a level 1 and she's 4k power. So she's impervious to suicides and she's 4k. So very difficult to kill and impervious to suicide. So it can help you gain advantage at level 0. So overall, a very solid TD card and a fairly decent boost beater for level 0. So can potentially be used in the normal decks when well, we'll just have to see what else they have to offer, but definitely does have potential. 217k going in casual clothes, Tsubame, Striker, and Mystery. If you have 2 or more other Striker characters, the card gains plus 1k and hand encore. It has another effect of when this card declares an attack, this card gains power plus X until the end of the turn, where the X is the number of Striker characters you control multiplied by 500. So most of the time she will be 218k because you'll only need 2 or more Strikers for her to gain that ability. Fairly easy enough to do. And she has hand encore, so she's probably going to be sticking around. And on offense, she gets 500 per Striker character you control, and it's for every Striker character, so she does include herself. So on offense, she can be a 2-1-10-5, which is pretty strong. And she has hand encore. So for a child deck card, I think she's fairly solid. 218k, not the greatest thing ever, but she does have hand encore, and on offense, she is a 10-5 before assist, which is quite nice. So whoops, had to give the video a quick pause. I had to help my family out with some things. But anyways, we're back. 3295 double R Shiro. Of course, it's Fridays, so they must show something really good, and today's no exception. So Shiro, finally he has a level 3 that's double R, and he's fairly good. So, Unlimited Blade Works Shiro, Master and Weapon. He has some. I think he's really good. So when he's played from hand to stage or via change, you can draw a card, and if you do, he gets plus 2k power until the end of the turn. He has a climax combo of so when this card reverses its opponent in battle and use the Climax Unlimited Blade Works. In your climax border, you can pay cost, which is pay 2, discard a card, and send one of your characters from stage to waiting room. If you do, choose one character from your waiting room whose level is equal to the level of this card's battling opponent. Place it into any border on your stage, and if that card is still on your stage during the start of your encore step, place that character to your memory. Of course, Unlimited Blade Works is this flare trigger right here. This is the secret rare version. This is the common version. Do keep note. Thank you from the author for this. I actually didn't realize this when I looked at this card the first time. So kindly take note that this is different from the Unlimited Blade Works comeback or gate climax from the original Fate Stay Night booster. They are not interchangeable since the name of the original climax in Unlimited Blade Works is written in literal English, where this is Unlimited Blade Works in Japanese. Yeah, when I first read this, I was like, oh, sick. This card can also combo with a gate, and you have like 8 different Unlimited Blade Works combos, and that'd be super broken. Not broken, but super awesome. But no, this you can't, and so this is the only one he combos with. But I still think it's pretty good. Flare Trigger is not too bad at all. Anyways, Shiro. Where to start with him? I think there's a lot to talk about with this card. I guess we'll go over his first effect first. Of course, his on-play ability is quite nice. It helps him accomplish what he wants to do. He's only 9.5 base, and I think for very good reasons, which I'll go over in a bit. But he's only 9.5 base, so he's a bit weaker than your standard level 3s. So him getting that additional 2k power from his on-play ability is quite nice. It'll put him at, 11.5 before assist, and you get to draw a card. Drawing the card I think is very nice, because as we see, his combo does require you to discard a card, and it helps you, if you don't have a flare trigger already in your hand, then you can try to draw into it with his on-play ability. So I think his on-play ability is really, really nice, helps him accomplish what he wants to do, and it helps cover many angles, helps cover his cost, and helps grab the climax. So I think that's super awesome. And his climax combo is fairly scary. As we can see, it is a double attacker, but it's a bit unique. And do keep in mind, there are a couple things with his double attacking. First of all, when you do kill an opponent's character, you need to grab a character in your waiting room who's equal to the level of the battling character, of the card that you reversed. So, if you kill opponent's level 2, you have to grab a level 2 from your waiting room, and not a lot of decks run a lot of level 2s, so you might not have any level 2s if you kill an opponent's level 2. It's not level equal to or lower, it's that exact same amount. Same thing, if you refresh, you don't have a level 3 in your waiting room, you kill an opponent's level 3, then you might not be able to grab anything, so do keep that in mind. Also, they are being played from the waiting room, so they do not get their awesome on-play ability, so no Musashi Saber. That would be really good if it was from hand, or if they got their on-play abilities, but they don't, and I think, thank God. So no on-play ability, so no healing, no clock shooting, no bullshit like that. But so with that in mind, I think there's two really good targets for him, and I think the best targets are, of course, himself, because you can still combo with him. If you pull another Shiro out when you combo, you can still combo with the new Shiro, so do keep that in mind. So the best targets are himself and the old archer from, not old, I guess the relatively kind of old archer from the last booster. I'm sure you guys do know this one. On attack, he gets to reveal top, and he gets to burn X amount for blah 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 blah. So he has an on attack ability, so he still works really well with the new level 3 Shiro, and I think that's cool because, Shiro and archer, buddy buddy. Not buddy buddy, kind of buddy buddy, whatever. They have a weird relationship. But anyways, I think it's cool. You can grab an archer, kind of fitting for the anime. They both attacking with Unlimited Blade Works. That's kind of cool. But anyways, I think these are the two best targets off the top of my head for his combo. So I think the dream for Shiro would be to get multiple Shiros off in one turn. So let's say, for example, your opponent has 3 level 3 characters in the front row. It's your turn. You play level 3 Shiro, you draw, gives him 2k power, and you play 2 other, let's say level 0 characters. And then you play the Flare Trigger, Unlimited Blade Works. So you front attack with one of your level zeros into your opponent's level 3. You deal damage. You do same thing with your second random level 0. Your level 0 attacks into your opponent's other level 3, deals damage, etc., whatever. And then now your level 3 Shido attacks and then successfully reverses your opponent's level 3 character. You pay cost, so you pay 2, discard a card, and then let's say you have another level 3 Shido in your waiting room, so you kill off your already in reverse level 0, and then you play the new level 3 Shido. Of course, when you use Climax Combo, for the cost of killing off one of your characters, of course you want to kill off a character that has already attacked, because killing a character in stand is pretty dumb, so don't do that. So you bring out another level 3 Shido from your waiting room to replace your one of your already in reverse level 0s. Since your opponent's character is still in rest because you couldn't successfully reverse it with your level 0, you still have another target to reverse. So you attack again with your newly brought out level 3 Shido, and then let's say you successfully reverse it, then you pay 2, discard again, and then you kill off your last level 0, and then you bring out another level 3 Shido, and then you attack again, and then if you successfully reverse your opponent's other level 3, then you get to pay 2, discard again, and then at that point, you might as well just grab another level 3. You could grab another level 3 Shido, or you could grab, let's say, this archer, and then you play him, and then you attack, and then let's say you reveal a level 3, and then you burn 3, and then his attack goes through. Something like that. I think that would be the dream. Getting off multiple Shidos in one turn, and just going ham. And I think that's actually quite plausible, because his Climax Combo cost is actually fairly light. It's only pay 2, discard a card. Not that heavy at all, especially for a double attacking Climax Combo. Very light on resources, in my opinion. So I can totally see a Unlimited Blade Works or a Fate Stay Night player getting off like 2 Shidos fairly easily off at level 3. And since you pay the stock on reverse, you can build the stock during your attack phase. So paying 2, discard a card, I think it's really light on resources for how good it is, and I can definitely see multiple climaxes going off with level 3 Shiro. So quite scary, and I believe that's why he's only 9.5, because if he was like 10k or like 10.5, then it'd be really easy to get multiple climaxes combos off with Shiro. I think it'd be too easy to do, and that'd be really scary. So him being 9.5 makes it a little harder for you. Makes it harder, I should say. Makes it harder for you to get multiple Shiro climax combos off in one turn, because, like I said, he's only 9.5. But it's nice. It's not. The Flare Trigger also helps, because do keep in mind the Flare Trigger is a continuous climax. So the new cards you bring out with him do get the plus 1k and 1 soul boost. So yeah, there's that. So overall, I think he's really solid. Also, he's pretty hard to he's pretty resistant to anti-damage, because your typical double attackers like Hanayo from Love Live, or the Muse double attacker from Love Live, or Tachibana from Nisekoi, they are susceptible to anti-damage, because they are the only character double attacking. But since Shiro brings out a new character to do the double attacking, if you anti-damage Shiro, the next character you bring out is not affected by the anti-damage, so they can attack, unlike your typical anti or double attackers like Kuroyuki Hime from Maxwell World. So that's also good. He's his climax combo is fairly light, in my opinion. His on-play ability is really good to help him accomplish his double attacking. He's pretty resistant to anti-damage, and overall I think he's just really, 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 really solid. Your opponent should be, if you're running yellow, your opponent should be fairly afraid of your on-reverse abilities with Shiro, because it can get pretty bonkers, especially if they have many low-power level 3s in the front row. They should definitely consider holding many backups in their hand, or killing off their own characters, so that you can't get your multiple attacking off. So I think it's really good. Of course, there's a couple downsides. The one downside, the most obvious one, is you might not have anything to reverse. If your opponent is constantly killing off their front row to your characters, then you have nothing to reverse. And if you have nothing to reverse, then Shiro's a fairly weak card, because he needs to kill something for you to get your double attacking off. Of course, that being said, if you're running yellow, you're probably running level 3 Musashi, Saber, and so if your opponent's leaving themselves open, they are pretty susceptible to level 3 Musashi Saber. But that is something to keep in mind. Do keep in mind he needs to kill something. And of course, another one is they might, if they have a bunch of level 0s, you grabbing another level 0 It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's not too bad because that level 0 is attacking for 2 soul because of the 1k1 soul. So, there's that. And also, you might not have a good target. You might not have a target in your level in your waiting room if you have if you just refreshed, but that's probably not going to happen. Since you pay 2 for his attack, you'll probably find something to put in the waiting room with his attack. So overall, I think he's really awesome. Saber Shido Dex was already kind of a thing, and this new Shido makes Saber Shido Dex all that much more scarier with another game ender to add on top of the level 3 Saber, Musashi. Also, he's pretty awesome in like any build. You just run a couple flare triggers, maybe run like 2 or 3 Shidos, and I think that'd be really awesome. So yeah, overall, I really, 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 really like the Shido. I hate Shido as a card, but I'm not gonna lie, I really like this card. I think he's really cool and he's a lot of fun. And another level 3 to add to the repertoire of on reverse dependent level 3 in Unlimited or in Fate as a whole. So all these power boosting characters, like the ones we saw on day 1, are all that much more important now that they have another level 3 that is dependent on reversing your opponent's character. But we're still not done with him. Dude, almost forgot, he has a changer, and his changer is right here. Him and his little wimpy look, like he's like a little wimp in this picture, and now he's like a freaking beast. But anyways, 215k uncommon, Fist of Inger Shiro, Master and Weapon. So he's a assist where all your characters with Saber, Shiro, or Ordine in its card name gets plus 500 power and plus 1 soul. Is this an assist, or isn't this a global? Because it's all your characters with Saber, Shiro, or Ordine? I don't know. Anyway, no, it has the assist text. Oh well, anyways, so he's a change. So draw phase change, during the start of your draw phase, you can pay cost, which is 1. If you do, change it to Unlimited Blade Works Shiro from your waiting room and place it on the original border of this card. So draw phase change, fairly light on resources, as we all know, since draw phase change is the cheapest change in all of Weiss Schwarz, but of course the slowest change. Shiro, the change. Shiro as a card, I think it's okay. He's a 2-1 assist, and he gets plus 1 soul to all your Saber Shins, or Saber Shiros and Anin. And that plus 1 soul can be pretty gay, as we all know, thanks to freaking Junyo in the Contact Collection, who is now banned forever. Thank God, that card was a freaking menace and a freaking such a scummy card. But anyways, thank God that card's gone. But anyways, this card is kind of similar because it gives all your Saber Shiro and Anins plus 1 soul. And plus 1 soul is, very devastating, as we all know from Junyo by now. However, this one is, of course, only Saber Shiros and Nins. But if all your characters are Saber Shiros and Nins, then it's like pretty much all your characters, and that can be really annoying to deal with. And of course, so like, let's say at level 2 you play him, you start soul rushing with your Saber Shiros and Nins, and then when your opponent hits level 3 and they're like 3-2 maybe, draw phase, change into level 3 Shiro, and then go beat some ass. Or you could just, like, let's say you draw into a flare trigger, and then you decide to change, and then you can go from there. So overall, I think this is a fairly solid assist, just because of the plus 1 soul. And he has the draw phase change into the level 3 Shiro, which is okay. I don't think the change is very necessary, but it's a nice addition to have. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, all your characters that you bring out with him do get sent to memory, but hopefully if you use his ClimaxCombo, hopefully you just killed them that turn. Especially if you get like 2 or 3 Shidos off, they're probably gonna die that turn. If not, they get sent to memory. No big deal. You probably dealt a lot of damage, so you might just kill them next turn right off the bat. If not, I don't think it's the end of the world. You have other level 3s like level 3 Shidos. You do a couple attacks. The characters that survive, they get sent to memory. Then you could like try finishing them off with like level 3 Saber. Musashi Saber, that is. So yeah. Anyways, this card, I think he's fairly solid, especially for an uncommon. He gets plus 1 soul, and you have the optional draw phase change into the level 3 Shiro. Will people be running him? I'm not too sure. He works in any deck. It's not like you need a Saber, Shiro, or Rin deck. And of course, this changer is only really good in like a Saber, Shiro, or Rin heavy deck, which is definitely possible. Saber Shiro is already kind of a thing, but now like Saber Shiro Rin might be a thing, especially because of like the new Brainstorm and like the new level 3 Rin that heals and combos with the gate, etc. Oh, where is she? Where is that cutie? Right here. So there's that. So we'll see. I definitely think it's playable, and for an uncommon, I think it's fairly good. So yeah, if he's not ran, I don't think I'd be too surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised, but yeah, I can see decks not running him. But if decks do run him, I can totally see it. So I think he's for an uncommon, I think he's really good, and I do think he's playable as a card. Next up, 005000R Contract Complete Saber, Servant and Weapon. She's a stock suicider for level 0. So level 0 stock suicider. Fairly decent. Fate 0 already had the stock suicider in Kiritsugu. But Kiritsugu was only 1k power, I believe, and he had to pay to search for the vanilla saber, if I recall correctly. And no one's going to use that pay to search for the vanilla saber. Why not just run a level 0 stock suicider that's 1500 power as compared to Kiritsugu's 1k power? And yeah, why not do that? And Saber's, Saber is the best. So you should, I would definitely consider running this one over the Kiritsugu Suicider. Let me just double check. Kiritsugu. Oh, wrong one. Oh, is this the wrong booster? Whatever. It's no big deal. Oh, right, he's from the actual booster, not the extra booster. Fate 0. Yeah, only 1k power, so why not run the better one? Why not run the 1500 power one, right? Because you're not going to use his pay to search ability, because you're not going to, so just run her, in my opinion. And lastly, the event 2-0 uncommon, the end of ideals. Choose one character with Shido in his name, give it 5k, and then place his card to stock. I don't think it's necessary. It's nice because you give Shido power. Obviously, the prime target they're going for is his 3-2 Saber, or it's 3-2 Shido. Like, if you play him, he's 11-5. You play the Climax, he's 12-5. You give him the event, he's 17-5. Everything, and its mother is going to die. I think it's unnecessary. It's a little too specific. This is like the best Shido beater you can run. I think the other good target you could be running, you could use this on, is the 1-0 Shido from the first booster that comboed with the Flare Trigger. But if you're running 4 of him and 4 of his Flare Trigger, and you're running this one and 4 of this one's Flare Trigger, I mean, it's possible, running 8 Flare Triggers, but I don't think it's the greatest idea. I mean, maybe. But, no, I think it's a little too specific. I think you're better off running other cards. Just run other cards, in my opinion. And that is it for this week, guys. I cut off that last video. I think it was like an hour 20 minutes. I think this is now like an hour and 40 minutes. Very long. Oops, did I click on Skype? Oh well. You guys will see my Skype open up in just a moment. But anyways, overall, this week I think was a fairly solid week. Another long video, of course, like always. But overall, it showed a lot of good cards that have a lot of potential, in my opinion. Especially the double Rs. Like, I think this Lean and Archer has a lot of potential. Will it be used? Let me just minimize that. Anyways, will it be used? We'll have to see, but I think she can fit into a lot of decks fairly easily, so I like that a lot, so I think she's okay. This one's whatever. Yeah, this one's whatever. This one's okay if you're running Kadada Bulk 2. This one is fairly solid if you're running Kadada Bulk 2, of course. This one, of course, same thing, Kadada Bulk 2, fairly good. Wombo combo with School Girls Strickers, kind of cool. Nico in Disguise, pretty good. She's probably the cutest one. Ilya, fairly good for like Mono Blue or Ilya Berserker deck. All of these fit that criteria. School Girls Strikers, more cards, whatever. Hopefully they get better cards. Too gimmicky for my opinion, these 4 cards. Saber, best girl, but sadly not good. Archer, I think he's kind of cool, but I think you're better off running better cards than him. Rin, really cute art on this one, but I don't think it's necessary in Archer and Rin. But I think she can be a pretty good tech card in any other build. Vanillas. This one's okay. Bad card. I want this card to be good. I think it's cool, but I don't think it'll be ran. This one's okay. As a standalone card, it's okay, but I don't think it works in the set. This one, I think these 2 cards are a bit unnecessary. Soichiro is kind of cool, but I think it's whatever. Tsubame, solid. This one's solid for a child deck. Shiro, I think he's really awesome and really cool. Even though I hate him as a character, I'm not gonna lie, this ClimaxCombo is pretty cool. Shiro, yeah, I actually no, this is okay. This is fairly solid. Saber, best girl, run it, and don't run this event. And that is all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I gotta go back to studying for my finals. I hope I did a good job explaining this one to you. Usually when I do leaks of the week, I usually do like 2 or 3 takes because usually my first attempt is not very good. I usually like stutter a lot or my thoughts are kind of all over the place. But I kind of don't have time to do 2 or 3 takes this week because, like I said, I really have to get back to studying. So hopefully I did a good job with this one. Next week school's over, so I'll have more time. So definitely next week we're gonna start pumping out more videos for you guys, just like normal videos, deck profiles, and yeah, deck profiles and duels. So I hope you guys look forward to that. So bear with us. Just more online videos for a while now, but soon we'll have more real content for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and until next time.